dull moment when you're an LSU fan, ever. Doesn't exist. There's never a time and situation where there's just not a dull, like a calm moment. There's always shit going on, always craziness, especially when you get into the season of something where all hell breaks loose. You know, I think it's funny. We get into situations where it's constantly, oh man, this is going on, that's going on, and feels like every single year and every single, at least once a quarter, I'm out here having to say, you got to trust what you're watching. You got to trust who you're listening to, especially when it comes to reporting. Guys, 2 times today, I felt like that we and Ben and seen situations where, guys, you got to, at some point, asking the question about if something's truthful or not, it's up to you to determine who's reliable and who's not. You might not think I am. That's completely up to you. You don't have to. That's completely up to you. I think our track record speaks for itself. But, man, there's just never a dull moment when it comes to covering this team. And I think about, like, when you always go through something hard in life and you get to the ultimate goal, how much more rewarding it is than just kind of having a handout in it. But, man, it just sometimes there are days when covering this team and being on this beat where I just say to myself, man, sometimes it gets a little bit too much. But all of that being said, I guess that we just have a game against Vandy that we have to play, and that's all that really matters here. That's all that really matters here. But a couple of $20 Super Chats to start off the show here. So $40 in total from Ricky Pope, and I greatly appreciate you so much for sending that in. He has a question. Ricky is also a member on the YouTube channel. So you send in two $20 Super Chats. You send in $40. That's how we're going to lead off the show here. But Ricky says, hey, Blake, God blessings to you and your family. Thank you so much. Yours as well, Ricky. He says, my question is the offense of LSU more like attitude and no heart, like they are just not in it? So let's start off with that, Ricky. And again, I greatly appreciate you sending in two $20 Super Chats. Thank you so much. Definitely helps us out in what we're building and what we're doing. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. So let's talk about it. I think there are a couple of things going on with this LSU offense that we'll actually talk about here tonight in this Vanderbilt deep dive that we will do. I think their heart is in it. And, you know, Ricky, we talked about culture today. Culture is a word when you talk about sports or you talk about football that gets thrown around lightheartedly. I suggest that all of you that missed this morning's episode, yes, we did a live episode this morning, that you go and check it out. I do think that this offense is giving you everything they got. I think Garrett's giving you everything he's got on the field. On the field. But I think that they, from a personnel standpoint, from a play calling standpoint, they're not all there. It's not the best that it could be. And do I think things can be better? Ricky, yeah, I do. I think things can be better here. Do I think that they have a long way to go and that they're not even scratching the surface of what they could be? I got to be honest with you. Yeah, I think that they could get to a whole another different level that they haven't even touched yet. I think you could have saw that last Saturday versus South Carolina. If you don't turn the ball over, if you don't get into the red zone and only get 6 points, there's so many different things from a narrative of the offensive standpoint that you could have derived from that. But, Ricky, I got to tell you, like, listen, just being open and honest, there are a couple of things here offensively that you got to correct. That's only the thing, and I'm not even talking about personnel, and I'm not even talking about, like, play calling, just controlling the things that you can control. Like, guys, I'm going to continue to beat this over the head until it changes. You got to stop turning the ball over. You can't have an interception on an RPO in the red zone. Can't happen. You can't be worried about a hit and throw an interception to Kyle Parker and overthrow him. Cannot happen, guys. I mean, those are kinds of things. You were different in your run game, and I thought it benefited you. You got to continue to do more of that, and we'll talk about this tonight against a Vanderbilt run defense that, guys, isn't bad at all. You better rewire your brain in thinking about what this Vanderbilt team is and what they can be. So offensively, I just look at this entire situation and say to myself, listen, offensively, I don't think that you have not come close to doing anything that you can be and what you can do. That's the scary part about LSU. The scary part about LSU is if they remotely started touching some of the greatness that from the personnel standpoint that they did have offensively, guys, skies could be the limit for them, but they're not touching it. They're not remotely coming close to it. Now, last week, again, the narrative, let's just say on 2 of the scores in the red zone, let's say you got 7 points. Hell, let's say you got 10 points apiece in the 4, and you're in a 31-34-10 ball game. The narrative is, shit, Blake, we just blew out South Carolina. We got to go into Nashville and clap them cheeks. I would be with you there to some extent, but the reality is the reality. Guys, woulda, coulda, shouldas, and we talked about the woulda, coulda, shouldas. I feel better about you offensively. I saw some better things from you offensively, but the reality is the reality. Can you go against a Power 4 team and score more than 20 points? So, Ricky, to start the show off, that will be the ultimate question here. I don't know. But one thing I do know, I greatly, greatly appreciate you sending in those 2 $20 super chats. Thank you so much for sending those in. All right, a couple of comments before we get moving here. David Madden says the RPO INT was way worse. Way worse. It's, guys, again, it's selfishness. It was a very selfish throw. And you can't keep having that. I mean, really, like, even the Kyle Parker interception, if you think you're going to get hit, throw the check down to Juwan Johnson. Throw the check down. We have to. Here's the thing about LSU offensively. We must, not a question, we must start turning the ball over. Bottom line. You got to stop putting the ball on the ground. You can't fumble on a quarterback sneak, and you can't throw interceptions. Guys, it is rule 1 of offense. I don't care what anybody says. The truth, the number one, I've sat down with guys like Hal Mumme. I've sat down with offensive pass game coordinator geniuses. The number one rule that guys like Hal Mumme and all these offensive innovative guys, we sat down when Mike Leach came to Southeastern one time and did a conference with Hal Mumme. Don't turn the ball over was the first thing that Mike Leach wrote on the big board. Don't turn the ball over. And it stuck with me. But, guys, the reality of it is that you just can't, or you're going to lose games. You're going to lose games. So, I agree with it there. Christian Burris says, we are talking about a quarterback that's damn near 25. What are we doing? This guy can't play on this level. It's either MVB or 4 losses. That's it. I don't know if I'm there. Big Mamu, what's up, Kevin? Says, if Nuss plays under control without mental mistakes, I think we come back to Baton Rouge with a W. I completely agree with that. The defense can and will limit Pavia's effectiveness. Completely agree. That is the game. I mean, if you wanted to summarize in a 2-3 sentence paragraph of the game, I think Mamu, Kevin here, just put it out effectively, right? Like, that is the truth. I think you will limit Pavia, but if you keep giving them the football too, they're going to find ways in this. It's going to be like Ole Miss all over again. All right, a couple more. We'll get moving. Oh, Chris Kimball says 662 Tupelo, Mississippi in the house. LFG. Yes, where is everybody listening to from tonight? Where is everybody listening to us from tonight? I didn't do that this morning. I should have done it. Where are we listening to from tonight? Will always be a big key here. All right, couple more before we get rolling here. Vance says, go Tigers from the 985. Good to have Vance in here with us. I see a lot of you kick booty. Tyler Townsend in here fighting over who was first in the comments. Guys, it doesn't matter. We're all here. That's all that matters. Terrell says the 337 Opelousas is in the building. Good to have you in here with us. Gibbs says the 281 Houston, Texas stand up. Good to have you in here with us. And Tony says 251 Foley, Alabama is in the building. Good to have everybody in here with us. I always love seeing where everybody's listening to us from. By the way, we had someone in South Africa that hit in the show last week. We had someone in Japan 2 weeks ago. We had someone in Laos. It's always amazing to me to see where everybody's watching from. That's when you know. It's when you know. Oh, and look here. Rick is in 615, Nash, Vegas. The real question is, Rick, are you going to the game? Are you going to the game? That's all that matters here. Are you going to be in attendance for Vandy? All right, let's get to it here. Everyone do us a favor, hit the like and share. Everybody do us a favor and do that. If you're watching on Facebook, share to all those groups. You know the drill by now. Social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Every show with AYS Sports is brought to you by our good friends and partners over at FanDuel. You have the discretionary income. Go over to FanDuel.com or download the FD Sportsbook app today. You want to bet those parlays. You want to bet the LSU Vandy game this weekend. Number one place to do it, not just me saying it, but statistically speaking, is with our good friends over at FanDuel. You got any thoughts, questions, concerns? Go to the FanDuel app. They have it all laid out there for you. FanDuel.com/RG for more details. But we all are over there to make a little money, to have some fun. And if you don't know what you're doing, don't place the bets on the games. If you don't have the discretionary income, the great thing about FanDuel is that we agree on one thing. Don't be placing bets if you don't have that discretionary income. But let's go have some fun. Big weekend in college football, and we're always proud to have FanDuel as the partners here with AYS Sports. And also, from our good friends over at Service Hawk Digital Marketing and Service Hawk Digital Media. Guys, if you want the right leads, smart systems, and real growth, you need to get a marketing system that works for you today. Go over to servicehawk.io. That's servicehawk.io to be able to get the best marketing system in the greater Louisiana area. Guys, listen, technically what we do is marketing. And I will tell you, the reason that Lee and Justin and those guys are constantly winning these marketing awards is because they're the best at what they do. If you own a business, you run a business, you have a business, nobody is better equipped than to be able to run a marketing system for you better than our good friends over at Service Hawk. If you're an HVAC, a generator pro, electrical pro, engineer, whatever you do, you just run a business. You need to give Lee and Justin a call today with our good friends over at Service Hawk Digital Media. Just let them know our marketing. Just let them know that your good friend Blake Ruffino sent you on by. All right, let's get to a quick break. And when we come back, Vandy Deep Dive. Next, we talk about the Vanderbilt Commodores. Stay with us.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Red Stick Financial. They're your local residential mortgage broker located right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At Red Stick Financial, they find the bank that works for your particular set of needs to purchase the home of your dreams or refinance the current one. They truly are your partners in this process, and they pride themselves in helping individuals and families with one simple goal in mind, and that is to make home financing approachable, attainable, and stress-free. They are licensed in all Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. So from Amarillo to Meridian and everything in between, they have you covered. Red Stick Financial brings you creative, customized solutions, and they don't believe in the one-size-fits-all when it comes to loans. They even have special options for mobile and manufactured homes located in a flood zone and stated income financing for those of us who are self-employed borrowers. If you or someone you know is looking to buy a home, refinance an existing mortgage, or simply want to know what options are out there for your future, give Red Stick Financial a call today at 225-407-9250. That's 225-407-9250. Or check them out online at redstickfinancial.com. That's redstickfinancial.com. Before you purchase the home of your dreams or you go and do that refinance, you need to go local. Go Red Stick.
We're back.
All right, let's get moving here. Carter the Power Bryant joins us in about 15 minutes. SWB on YouTube with a $10 super chat says, born in New Orleans, have been a Tiger fan for 35 years, LSU by 14. Sir, back and sit back and watch. I live in Tennessee now. Go Tigers. The real question here, SWB, are you going to be in attendance? Are you going to be in attendance for the Vanderbilt game? That is the real question here. I said this in the earlier show, but I'm sure a lot of people will watch tonight's show a little bit more. Thank you all for dealing with me last night, man. The Ruffino family has been a little bit sick over the last couple of days. And last night it was my turn. I thought I could power through it, but man, as soon as I got done with Ruffino and Joe show, I was done. I was done. But SWB, thank you for the super chat. The real question here, are you going to be at the game? Are all you people that live in Tennessee that are LSU fans, are you going to go watch this LSU Tiger team take on the Vanderbilt Commodores? That is the real question here. All right, let's get moving. So, as we all know, LSU takes on Vanderbilt this weekend, and on Tuesdays, we like to break down the team that we are playing. This week, obviously, it being the Vanderbilt Commodores. And listen, there are a lot of things when I look at Vanderbilt that when we look at, or I look at them, and the things that I see, these are the things that I would break down that, number one, LSU has got to pay attention to and take care of. But this is who they are as a team. And then seeing who they are as a team and who you are as a team and start combining how this game may go. But I thought this week on Monday that Brian Kelly said it the best of what the theme this week is going to be. Kevin in the chat earlier said the same exact thing. When I look at Vanderbilt, not just this year, but even last year, the number one thing that we're going to have to do this week, when I watch Vandy, you got to make Diego Pavia one-dimensional, and the one dimension doesn't need to be with his legs. The one dimension is going to have to be getting him in the pocket, making him make throws to beat you. It's what Bama did a couple of weeks ago. It's what you need to do this week. It's what teams that have beaten Vandy in the past with Diego Pavia has done, because he's not a great passer. He's not a great thrower of the football. What Vanderbilt is going to do and what they want to do is very simple. Diego Pavia sitting back in the pocket 25 to 30 times a game is not one of them. Even though their passing attack this season has not been necessarily non-effective, they're 45th in the country in passing. But one thing that they do and why they've been productive is when they get him out of the pocket or they let him make short throws. Guys, there's not really a lot of things that they do. Now, there's been some, but not been a lot of big passes downfield for Diego. If you blow a coverage, he can get the ball there. Not that it's going to be on a frozen rope. But they like to get him out of the pocket. They want him to run. They want to run quick slants and hitches to get some motions out of there to get you out of line so that he can throw to some open space to his tight ends and receivers and running backs. That is their passing game. But if you're going to make him sit back in the pocket and throw the ball 25, 30 times a game, guys, you very well may come out of this game winning by 10, maybe even 14 points, because that's not his strength. But the biggest strength for Vanderbilt so far this season, and even from last season, and why they clipped Bama last year and why they were in a game with them this season so far a couple of weeks ago, is they will 3 yards in a cloud of dust you all the way down the field. The scoring offense for Vanderbilt is top 10 in the country. The guys are actually 7th. They're averaging 43.2 points per game. And some of that is a little inflated because of South Carolina and Virginia Tech. But, guys, they're going to run the ball right at you with Alexander and Diego Pavia, and they're going to make you play fundamentally sound football. I look at Vanderbilt and I look at Tim, their offensive coordinator, and I look at all the things they want to do. They're going to run counter. They're going to run power. They're going to run zone reads. They're going to run split zone. They're going to do motions to get you confused. And maybe even more than Ole Miss, they're going to make you play fundamentally sound defense. And if you're not fundamentally sound, they're going to gash you. You know, you played Diego Pavia last year, and a banged-up Diego Pavia at that. Guys, they're coming into this week out of a bye week, and I fully expect Diego Pavia fully healthy and ready to go, and this team very ready to go. But what are they going to show you in the run game, specifically will Vanderbilt, that you have not seen on film? I fully expect this Vanderbilt team to come out into this game and do things and put things on that you have not seen. And this defense early is going to have to be very strong and very stout and play fundamentally sound to be able to contain what Vanderbilt wants to do. Alexander might be one of, if not the second best back that you've seen all year. I think Jaden Ball from Florida was the best overall back that you've seen all year. And quite honestly, I think he might be the best back that you see all year from the University of Florida. But Vanderbilt's biggest strength is the 3 yards in a cloud of dust you. Guys, it's the Ole Miss strategy of things. It's the Les Miles strategy of things with a little bit more zone principles and zone runs with a quarterback that can actually execute it at a high level with a damn good, strong offensive coordinator. They are downhill. And guys, when you think of Vandy, you don't think about this, but their offensive line's not bad at all. They're very physical at the point of attack. Blake, we got a really good defense. You're damn right we do. Top 10, top 5 scoring defense in the country. You're damn right you got a strong defense. But the motions, the reads, the fundamentally sound things that they're going to make you do, you got to be locked in for 4 quarters. Now, Blake, I'm about to say something, and you're going to be like, well, Blake, what are you talking about? That's why offensively you have to be sound. You cannot continue to do what you were doing on third down, whether it be against South Carolina or Ole Miss, and expect this defense to hold on every single play here on the road. They're going to 3 yards in a cloud of dust you. No team is better in time of possession in their last 3 games more than the Vanderbilt Commodores. Because they're second in the country in third down offensively. They're number 1 in the SEC on third down offense. Want to know why? Because they have the shortest distance to go in the country. No team is third and short in the country more than the Vanderbilt Commodores. Why? Because they're going to 3 yards in a cloud of dust you. In case you don't know what 3 yards in a cloud of dust means, they're going to run the ball for 3 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, roll out Diego Pavia, hit a pass for 7 yards. They don't care about hitting the big bomb. Now, they can, and they will try on you to keep you respected. Because when I look at Vanderbilt offensively, they're 19th in the country in total offense. They're 23rd in the country in rushing offense. They're 45th in the country in passing offense. They're 7th in the country in scoring offense. And they're 2nd in the country in third down offense. This isn't your grandmammies. This isn't your grandpappies. Vanderbilt Commodores. This team can play. The system that they run with Tim Beck and company is a very effective one. They have perfected what they want to do. It's why they're in games with teams like Alabama and why it was only a 7-point game against you a season ago. Guys, if you're fundamentally sound defensively and you contain Diego Pavia a lot like what you did Lenore Sellers last week, I don't think that they can beat you. Pavia, unlike Trinidad Chambliss, cannot sit there and throw the football and effectively beat you with his arm. I don't believe that he can. Has he done sometimes when he's thrown the football and beaten teams like Bama yet last year? Yes. But when teams like Texas came into town and bottlenecked him and he had to throw the football to win, he wee-weed down his leg. The defense is not what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about you defensively. I think because of what you did to Sellers and you've shown that you can do it, I think you can and should bottleneck him and bottleneck them. Guys, I'm going man coverage on the outside and not running anything different and making and stuffing the box and stuffing the run game and making Diego Pavia beat me with his arm. I don't think that there should be any other game plan, and I think that you could call Clark Lee, Tim Beck, and tell him exactly what you're running because it's not going to matter. Man versus man. Let the best man win. Diego Pavia can't beat you from the pocket. Can he make some throws? Yes. Is he going to make some throws? Yes. But consistently making him and letting him do that, I don't think that he can. Guys, look what Bama's secondary did on him a couple of weeks ago. When he sat back there, he kept throwing interceptions. And I think you got a better secondary than what Bama does. So I sit here and say, when I look at them offensively, guys, their run game's pretty freaking good. From an efficiency standpoint, there isn't a better run game that you've seen all season, even more when you look at Florida. But I think this week in watching Vanderbilt, and I watched the Virginia Tech game as an example. What did Virginia Tech do early? And they got away from it. It's why Brent Pry is fired and he doesn't have a job as the head man in Virginia Tech anymore. They stuffed the box, and Diego Pavia was throwing picks. He was making mistakes. They got out of stuffing the run and backing out of the box, and they ran the ball all over them, and they lost. That's why Brent Pry got fired. They're a good team, and they are a very physical team, and they are very downhill. And if you're not fundamentally sound on these reads and split zones, they will gash you. They've gashed everybody they've played, even Alabama. Man up. And I don't mean that from a standpoint of like you need to man up. I mean it from a standpoint of go man-to-man on the outside, stack the run, and make Pavia beat you with his legs and contain him a lot like you did last week versus Sellers. The decision-making of Pavia is god-awful when he's in the pocket. Just go watch Virginia Tech. Go watch Bama. He's not a good passer. You know, before we get to defense here and we get to Carter in just a moment, something about Pavia that's so funny to me. You know, when these preseason quarterback rankings came out, people would have Diego Pavia in their top 5. And guys, I was never there. And I'm still not there. I think he's a good athlete. I don't think he's a good quarterback at all, really. He can effectively do things on you. Doesn't mean that he can't play. Doesn't mean that what they don't do is effective. But as overall being a quarterback, I don't think he's that at all. Limit him in the rushing attack. Make him sit back there, and you're going to come away back to Baton Rouge with a W. Now, guys, defensively, there is a weakness that this Vanderbilt team has, and it's very glaring. Garrett Nussmeier's got to be better than what he was last week. He's got to be the Garrett Nussmeier that everybody thinks that he can be. This secondary is not good at all. They're 70th in the country in passing yards allowed. They give up so many yards through the air. So many. They have been leakier than a 1800s home with new plumbing. They're leaky. You have an advantage with guys like Trey'Dez Green, Barryon Brown, Aaron Anderson, Kyle Parker, Xavion Thomas, Chris. Guys, you can line up and beat them. Your quarterback has got to make good decisions. What did Ty Simpson do? What did Virginia Tech do? What did every team that had success versus Vanderbilt this year do? They attacked the boundary. They threw the ball all over the place. Why? Because their secondary is very leaky. Some of that has to do with, too, that teams tried to line up and run right at Vanderbilt, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. Now, Bama had some success running a lot of split zone and a lot of counter like what you did last week. Guys, this secondary is not good. And it is going to be paramount this week. Paramount this week that your quarterback sits back in the pocket and makes right decisions. They're going to leave holes wide open for you, and you got to be able to find them. They have been in moments and times against bad teams and bad opponents where they're leaving guys wide ass open. They have not faced a passing attack outside of Bama that is better than yours. They haven't. And Bama carved their ass up. Last week, the biggest weakness for South Carolina was clearly their left boundary at DB. And you didn't go at it one time. Not once. You better start getting the ball to Barryon Brown because, guys, every team that's having success on Vanderbilt defensively, they're hitting the boundary. They love running cover 2. You better hit the pockets in cover 2 to have some success here. And Garrett's got to recognize it. I don't like coming out here and say this game hinges on one man. Their secondary is not that great. You better not go out there and show them that they can be against you. Guys, I know you had a lot of success last week, but when I look at this Vandy team in the run game, you had some success, I should say. This Vandy defensive line, man, and this linebacking core they're not scrubs. They're actually pretty good. I'm really interested to see how you run the football against them. I'm very, very, very much intrigued. Very intrigued. Can you run the football at all? They're top 35 in the country in run defense, and you're still sitting in the 112 to 113 marker when it comes to run offense. You were a lot better last week. Can you continue to improve that run game will be a question. Last but not least, guys, this Vanderbilt team has had a horrible time of getting off the field on third down. You got to get Garrett Nussmeier manageable fielding positions to stay on the field. So in all, when I look at Vandy, keep their quarterback in the pocket, make him beat you from the pocket. On the inverse, you got to be able to throw the football because their secondary is pretty weak. Their safety room's good, especially in the run game. In the passing game, they are not. You got to be able to do the inverse on both sides of the football. And if you do that, you're going to come back to Baton Rouge with a W, and then you square off against A&M, and game day will probably be here. It's a big week for you. It's a massive week for you. Can you achieve that will be the ultimate question. All right, let me get to a quick break. When we come back, Carter Bryant joins us next. Stay with us. Guys, let me tell you about our good friends over at Grand Slam Heating and Air, where your comfort is their top priority. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they promise to provide customers with high-quality HVAC service at an affordable price while ensuring the homeowner peace of mind. From their office to your home, they guarantee the best hassle-free experience around. Efficiency and comfort is their game. Let them make your home Grand Slam today. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they're offering their annual maintenance plan starting off at $18.75 a month and also doing those $99 tune-up promotion. They provide free estimates for system and ductwork replacement as well as offering financing to get the job done with no money up front. From Baton Rouge to Hammond to Covington, they're all around. So what you need to do today, give them a call at 225-380-9065. That's 225-380-9065. Or go over to their website, getgrandslamair.com. That's getgrandslamair.com, where your comfort is their top priority. Guys, I want to talk to you about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company. Are you facing tough times due to an injury from a car accident, navigating the complexities of divorce, or purchasing a new home? At the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company, they understand the challenges you're going through, and they are here to help. The lawyer team of Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, along with Morgan Daniels, have the experience and proven track record to give you that peace of mind. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600 to schedule a free consultation at their brand new office located in historic downtown Ponchatoula. They're also doing a special, the AYS special. If you're refinancing or closing on a home in Southeast Louisiana, request the Drake Title Company to handle your closing. If you mention Blake Ruffino and AYS, you're going to receive a $400 discount on title fees. Again, give them a call at 985-386-7600. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you on by.
We're back.
Carter, the Power Bryant. Good evening, good sir. How are you?
I just put this hat back on to match yours. Shout out to Tyler. So it is a little crooked. I look stupid. Huh?
Take it off.
Well, no. I'm going to put it on, man. Look at this. Look at this. Now it looks a little bit better. Good to see you, man. Glad you're telling people the truth about Diego Pavia. He's throwing some prayers this year. He will chunk that biatch up. And I'm not just talking about just blindly chunking it down the field. I'm talking about moon balls. So, yeah, I mean, you and I will probably disagree on how good he actually is, but you've always thought he's been a little overhyped.
Has he not been?
I mean, when you pull off the upsets he's pulled off, I think it's something, right? But it's a legend.
What upsets outside of Bama?
Oh, he beat Auburn with New Mexico.
That's not an upset. That's not. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, but Cal that almost went winless also got beat by Auburn, or also beat Auburn. Excuse me.
Yeah, but I mean it's still impressive to go on the road as a 24-point whatever dog it was to do what he did. He's good. He's good. Some of the things he does well, he does really well, such as the play action game, the zone read game, the sleight of hand stuff. It's really good stuff. But as a deep ball thrower, he does lack. And, this is a well-coached team. It is very important to hammer home how good Clark Lee has been with this team. And then on top of that, Blake, this is a team that can run the football with Cedric Alexander, big number 28. Had that huge run versus Alabama. And one thing about Vanderbilt is that they normally start well. Now, they didn't start well in the Virginia Tech game earlier, but they jumped out to a 7-0 lead on us last year. They jumped out to a 10-0 lead versus Alabama. So, starting fast is something that you hope to see from Vanderbilt this weekend, or from LSU this weekend versus Vanderbilt.
So in talking about this game, I guess I ask you, what is the biggest thing that you're looking for versus Vanderbilt?
You can run on them some. I do agree, though, defensively, this is a solid unit. This isn't, year after year, Vanderbilt will have one or two really good defensive players, but never as a unit. They had Zach Cunningham a few years ago, who was just amazing. But the truth is, you can run on them. Alabama was able to establish it with some pullers, some counters, and all of that. But can LSU take advantage of those opportunities up the middle that you can run on them with? And then on top of that, Blake, obviously defensively, we already talked about Cedric Alexander. Eli Stowers is up there with the best tight ends in the SEC. Make a case, Ole Miss, number 8, unbelievable player as well. But Stowers is really good. He is a really, really, really good football player who has a lot of experience with Diego Pavia. And then one thing I really like about them, Blake, there are few offenses that do the shovel pass better than Vanderbilt. It's a big part of what they do. I mean, they beat Alabama with shovels last year. They really got things going.
Almost beat them this year with it.
Yes, it was one of their more effective plays versus them last year. And that's something you just don't see all that often. So this offense is going to be, and every offense is unique. We've played very unique offenses, but this one in particular is one that you have to be ready for. Now, you go back to the game last year, Blake. LSU actually played the game Vanderbilt plays versus everyone else, which is long extended drives, keep the offense off the field, find ways to convert on third down, and burn another full 40 off the clock. And LSU was able to beat Vanderbilt playing a game that Vanderbilt likes to play. Remember, Vanderbilt scored on the very first play of their offensive play, the deep shot down the sideline. So, versus them, they're going to have these long extended drives. If you can stop them from doing that, though, this will, to me, be the best defense that they have faced up to this point in the season. If you could stop them from that and LSU can just get something going offensively, I do think LSU is in pretty good position to pull off this quote-unquote upset this weekend.
Does last week give you a little bit more hope offensively of what you can be?
Yes, because I think LSU offensively did a good job of scheming some things open for Garrett Nussmeier. There was a lot of play calls where it was like, okay, that's something that we see the other teams do. I think for me, Blake, one thing LSU desperately needs to move to is throwing the football mostly on first down. I feel like this offense has been better throwing on first down. The Bauer Sharp tight end leak play where you had Xavion in the backfield, and we all thought it was going to be a handoff to Xavion, and then you hit Bauer. That gets that drive going. It gets you in a rhythm, if you will. And then obviously the red zone play calling was better. Trade as his first touchdown. The play before it was just as beautiful as the play itself that he actually scored on. So it seems as if we're developing some type of rhythm, some type of identity when it comes to actually throwing the football in the red zone until we all know what happened towards the end of the game. And then on top of that, Blake, LSU had some run plays where you're like, okay, I could see a world where we can run the football some. It wasn't the prettiest. It was obviously mostly still sloppy, but you had the big run from Juwan. You had a few really nice blocks from Cohen Eccles, who I think played the best left guard game that we have played up to this point in the season, which is very promising. So that does excite me some. I don't know how you feel about it. I mean, you shared your thoughts on my show Sunday night, but has anything changed for you since rewatching the run game from when we talked last Sunday?
Yeah, I think more than the personnel side of things, I think just actually getting creative instead of running zone. Like you ran some powers, you ran some counters, you ran some split zone stuff, and I think it was effective because South Carolina had to be responsible, and it created more cutback lanes. Zone does not always allow cutback lanes when they know that that's the only thing that you're doing. Yeah. So when a team runs counter and you're like, well, or split zone, meaning split zone, you're running zone, but there's another guy coming across. So then the backers got to sit. The backside backers got to sit on a split zone because, well, shit, what if Trey'Dez Green goes in the flat? Then I'm screwed. So I got to sit. So if you remember the 23-yard, or I think it was the 15 or 23-yard long run from Kane Durham, it was a split zone. The reason that happens is because the backside backer has to sit there because you can't go and just run. Right? Like you can't just go and run downhill because you got to make sure that Trey'Dez Green, who's going off on you, that doesn't go in the flat and gets a big situation. I think it was the best called game of the season for Joe Sloan.
Oh, okay.
I do. I don't think that's remotely close to being a hot take-ish. I think it is. Like okay. I don't think that there's a better game that he's called from a just like, damn, that's a good – you set that up. I see why you did that. Like even the RPO to some extent that got picked off. Now, there's two things in that though. Like me and you argued about this on Sunday in reference to we didn't really argue, but the bad outweighing the good. Like you had all the good, but then I can't sit there and then not think about the 4 times in the red zone when you only had 6 points.
Oh, it's bad. Yeah, I mean, where we disagreed was, for me, and you technically had 7 with the extra point, but to your point still holds true.
No, we had 3 on the fumble. We had the first fumble.
Yeah.
Then we had the Jawan Johnson fumble. Then you had the RPO, and then you had the quarterback sneak.
Okay, so you had 10 because you had the Trey'Dez touchdown.
Okay, Trey'Dez touchdown.
Okay, all right. So,
but I'm just saying the 4 that you had that resulted in 6 points, the 4 that could have gone for more, you only had 1 touchdown. So 5, you only had 1 touchdown.
No, it's putrid. But I do think the vision was better, as sad as that sounds. And I think the first touchdown drive was unbelievably creative. Both of those calls were really, really, really good. Using personnel to make things tough on the defense, and then, of course, actually executing the plays, getting things to where Garrett can throw things that are open. That was one of the few instances in the red zone where we were throwing to things that have high likelihood of completions. So that does excite me, as sad as that sounds. But at the same time, Blake, we are in a spot where you still need to find ways to hit deep passes down the field. Mm-hmm. And you should have had 1. It was dropped. But you do feel better with how the ball flew off of Garrett's arm.
But why didn't you go back to it? See, here's my thing. We can blame Chris Hilton all we want to. He beat him. Why not go back to it? So what? He dropped it. I mean, so like, let me give this example of this. I've been thinking about this a couple of days. So wait, everybody's going to get mad at Chris Hilton. Don't put him back out there. But then Garrett throws 2 interceptions and it's okay. He beat 2 people. Go back out there and throw it to him. If you don't trust him, go throw it to Berryon.
Yeah. I think
you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying there?
And well, I will say this. I think Brian Kelly at the press conference mentioned Berryon. And if you listen really closely last week, he did emphasize Trey'Dez Green getting way more involved. It was in one of the middle week press conferences that aren't listened to as much. The
last Wednesdays when he said it. He was very gung-ho about getting Trey'Dez Green the football.
And just take this for what it's worth. I do think LSU wants Berryon to get it more. And I will say you can go see my film study and come to your own conclusion. Baryon was open a few times and we just missed it. And it would have been your opinion of how Baryon played would be totally different. So I think this could be a big Baryon game come Saturday.
It needs to be. Let me ask you this question. Do you go into any game right now expecting that you're not going to turn the ball over?
I mean, you got to bake it in some. You would like to not think that way, especially considering I thought Garrett played good in this game last year. But
yeah, one of his cleaner games.
Yeah, I mean, look at what LSU did versus Vanderbilt last year. They just had long drives. They were able to have success running the football. One of the better blocked plays of the BK era was the Josh Williams touchdown in that game. And look, if you've looked at Vanderbilt, yeah, you mentioned defensively, this is a solid team. Something else that is admirable about Vanderbilt is that this isn't a very experienced team. This is a team full of adults, if you will. And they're not going to beat you for themselves, right? They're going to be a team that you got to go out there and win it, especially on their own home field. But you can crease them in the run game. And I understand Alabama's line is better than LSU's line, but it's there. It was there last year, and I think it's going to be there this year as well. So hopefully Cohen Eccles, who had some really, really good blocks in that game, also had some bad misses, but that's expected. Thought Josh Thompson's best block of the season was Caden's run up the right side later in that game. Hopefully he can build on that, and hopefully the guy that has been criticized more than anyone on this team, Weston Davis, has a really good game this weekend versus Vanderbilt, which going from Dylan Stewart to what you're going to play versus Vanderbilt is what we would consider to be a step down, but he's going to be on the road. And being on the road versus what Vanderbilt has is still very difficult. So can he step up to the occasion and silence all the critics?
Were you surprised that Brian Kelly said he's rolling with Weston Davis? Because I wasn't.
No, I'm not. Some of it is stuff that you said, Blake, as far as, curious in his development and what they want to do with him moving forward. But
I'll just say, so people know what I said there, Carter, I know for a fact, based off of people that have Louisiana ties that coach at Ole Miss, the defense was getting tipped off because Josh Thompson had to tell Carius what to do every play.
Yeah, and also it's just one of those things where he wouldn't have played if the Weston Davis injury didn't happen. And then you had the DJ Chester thing happen. So because he was suspended in the first half. So we don't know a gazillion % if Kern would have gotten the called shot to start that game. There was a lot of things that happened. Now, truth be told, he did fine. All right. I don't think you're going to find bigger Carius Kern fans than you or I. We have been pleading for him.
I love him to death. I think you should give him a wristband and play him at guard.
Yeah, I'm with you. And so,
get one person. There's 9,000 people on the sidelines. Get the call. Look at the wristband. Let Carius go on the headset. Hey, tell Carius 19. Have 4 different play cards. Okay, one for every quarter, and do it. I've literally, by the way, you know how I came up with this idea? It's not mine. You know who did it? Tom Brady did it.
Brady? Oh, was he
Brady
good?
in a interview with Colin Cowherd said that he gave an offensive lineman a wristband, changed it out every quarter, and would tell him before the play, 19.
I will also
21,
say,
22.
I will also say, give Carius a green dot. Why not? I'm totally joking.
You got to give
It's got to be the quarterback. But if they do come up with a rule where you can have 2 green dots, why not? You would give it to the center probably, but still. It is interesting, though, Blake, when you look at this game from a special team standpoint. And this will be on my show tomorrow, but LSU got to be ready for special teams. And Vanderbilt is so good.
Yep.
The Jerry Kill, Vanderbilt operation, Clark Lee, they're very buttoned up. Because last year, if anyone could remember. We gave up a fake punt in that game. And then this past weekend, I don't want the South Carolina bots to come after me, but I'm actually going to say something nice. They did have a valid criticism of the fake punt.
Oh, it was very valid. We should
Yeah.
have that should have gone against us.
Yes. And I also understand the referee saying, well, I wasn't completely set. And it's like, come on, give it to him. Why not give it to him? I'm happy it didn't go for him, but in actuality, they did pick it up, and we should have been ready for it because of Beamer ball. So you have to be ready on special teams because these Commodores have been mostly good on special teams in the Pavia era over the past year and a half.
Carter, does it make you nervous that, number one, that we are an underdog, but number two, a lot of people think you're going to go in there and lose?
Oh man, it's amazing how many people think we're doomed. And
so why do you think that is? Because people thought we were going into Ole Miss and we were going to lose and we lost.
Yeah, well, how many road games have we played this year? We've played how many? 2?
Clemson, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt.
Okay. So Clemson, you win the season opener. No one knows anything about either one of those teams. And
Clemson kind of stinks now.
Yeah. And then you go on the road versus Ole Miss, and the scoreline was the scoreline. Obviously, it was just a 5-point game. We didn't get blown off the field, but you felt at the end of that game that Vanderbilt did more things to win that game.
You mean Ole Miss?
I mean, Ole Miss, excuse me. So you look at it now, and LSU's going on the road yet again. And offensively, it's as bad as it is. It just is what it is right now. And Vanderbilt's a team that's mostly been pretty solid at home. So we'll see how that actually works out. But yeah, I'm not shocked at all. I thought LSU would be a point or so favorite, but I'm not shocked that it's 2.5. What say you?
You want me to really tell you?
Yeah, let's go.
I think nobody in the country outside of people in Louisiana or LSU fans trusts what you have at quarterback.
Ooh.
You see that little logo under your name?
Oh, yeah. They owe me some money.
They kind of owe me money too, but I love our good partners over at FanDuel.
No, I'm just kidding. They don't. I don't.
By the way, every AYS sports show is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. Let's go ahead and plug them. You got the discretionary income. Go over to FanDuel, download the FD Sportsbook app today. Go place those bets. Every episode is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. And that's at the 52nd minute mark. I think that they would tell you from people I talk to nationally and books around the country, they don't trust Garrett. That's not me. You can say, well, I don't like the kid or whatever, and I take all the blame anyway, so it doesn't matter. They would tell you that. They would tell you that they don't trust him going on the road and not turning the ball over and not making mistakes. They would tell you that they don't trust Joe Sloan in this offense. They don't think that you can run the football, and last week was an aberration. Ooh. I mean, for what it's worth, everybody clowned FanDuel. So every Sunday I post the spread.
Yeah,
for
the
LSU.
line. Yeah,
the opening line. And last week, everybody clowned that LSU was a 9.5-point favorite. Okay, line didn't move. What did LSU win by?
Oh, they won by 10.
So I think that's what they would tell you. Now, I'm going to take a lot of criticism for saying that, but it is the truth. Whether you want to hear it or you don't want to hear it, it's the truth. You don't. Maybe some generic people don't talk to the sports books people. That's what they would tell you. So I'm going to take the hit for it, and that's okay. But that's what they tell you.
One thing that is impressive as far as Vanderbilt is concerned, they've beaten who they were supposed to beat, and the team that they lost to was on the road versus a quarterback that you and I probably would agree is probably going to win the Heisman, right?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Do you think Ty Simpson's going to win the Heisman?
I think he's definitely in the conversation. I think Fernando Mendoza is sneakily getting in there, yes.
Yeah. And if you lose to a quarterback that's as hot as he is, how bad are you really? I mean, and it's not as if they were just blown off the field by this guy either. Now, Simpson played amazing. I mean, that Jeremy Bernard shot was open, but it's still a good throw at the end of the second quarter.
Oh, the 2-minute drive at the end of the first half where they tied the game versus Vandy was the best drive a quarterback's had all season.
Oh, I like that.
It's not close.
I will say, to only lose to that team, I understand the teams that they've beaten aren't anything incredible, especially a Sellers less South Carolina offense, but it's something. It's something that this team has put together, the results that they have put together, and it's something that they have put up, the points that they have put up in their games. Like I was making sure I wasn't seeing anything here, but they have put up 31 plus points in every game that they've played.
Yeah, they got the number 7 scoring offense in the country. They're putting up points on everybody.
And this will be the best defense that they have faced. And I think Mansour Delane also wants to come in and play really well, because that was a really tough loss for Virginia Tech last year in the first game of their season.
Mm-hmm.
And Delane didn't have his best game. He was shut out the rest of the way. He didn't have his best game in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this defense is going to come in motivated, and I think this defense is going to show the world what they're all about. I really do like LSU's defense in this matchup. You're going to get a lot of zone read. You're going to get a lot of attacking the flats. And I don't think that they're going to want to attack this LSU defense deep. So if you can have a good linebacker game from the second level of this defense, a better tackling game. Tackling has been a little sloppy for LSU in recent weeks. They should be fine.
So then it basically, if you believe that, then it comes down to offense. So I just asked the question here before we get to some super chats.
Yeah.
Do you have enough faith in this offense that they can go on the road and win it for you?
I do think the matchup is better, especially with some of the things you saw versus South Carolina. But the simple answer to that, Blake, is no. I don't.
I don't either, and because they're coming out of a bye week.
And look, I'll wait for like all the full injury report stuff coming out, but Gooden is such a key piece to the defensive side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not been like the most stat-worthy season, but he's good. Would you?
Oh, he's caused a hell of a lot of disruption.
Right. The LSU and Guillory's playing really well, and then we both love Walter Mathis and all of that, and they're playing better. And we'll see on a few of these other guys. I'll just wait for all that to trickle out. But defensive in play is so big versus Pavi. I mean, they do a really good job of stressing that position. So you do worry about some health things on that side of the ball. And then offensively, man, I just don't know if I trust this operation on the road, Blake. And on top of that, even though our offense worked this past weekend in kind of the same manner that LSU worked, or as LSU run their operation over the past couple of weeks, I am a believer, if you do get in a rhythm, just keep it moving, right? There were so many checks and stuff like that are just so frustrating on the road that just got you in trouble versus Ole Miss. And I don't want to see that versus Vanderbilt. I don't want to see timeouts that don't need to be burned. I don't want to see total confusion. And one thing for me, Blake, the Jawan Johnson fumble kind of masked how bad the operation was before that. Because, you get to the 1 yard line, you hit that ball to Xavion on the quick screen outside, just go up to the 1 yard line and run a play. And
the problem with that is that you did it later in the game and Garrett twinkle-toed the quarterback sneak.
Okay.
I mean, you say that, but I think that they're up in the booth saying that we have a quarterback that doesn't want to put his head down and go get the yard.
And he's got to do better. He's got to do better. And to your point, all right, it's a problem for me.
But I do agree. With your ultimate premise, I do agree, though.
Because all right, so before the Jawan fumble, the LSU offensive line, which had already played 2 possessions in the first quarter, and that was we were on a drive there, was in a stance for 13 seconds on the goal line. Okay. That is a long time. And like, you played the position, you know this.
Especially a 3-point stance.
Yes.
God forbid it be a 4-point stance.
And an offensive lineman on the goal line is so nerve-wracking because you are worried about carrying out your assignments, but also in the back of your mind, it's like you're just saying
you're about to take a lot of pain. A lot of pain is about to be inflicted on you.
And you're also thinking, don't commit a false start. Don't commit a false start. Don't just whatever you do, don't commit a false start. So what you'll see a lot of offensive linemen do, and you got to look really closely on this, at the goal line, you will see offensive linemen not fire off the football as hard as they normally do to prevent that thing from happening. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm just such a big fan of just hurry up, run something. Don't make them think. Don't make them have to sit in that stance for that long time, because I might just be seeing things. But
no, you're not.
One of the linemen before the Juwan Johnson fumble, it did look like there was a little budge. All right, did you see it too? Mm-hmm. Okay. And everyone can go see for yourself. I brought it up in the film study yesterday. So that would have been a 5-yard penalty, which, knowing what we know about the result of the play, we would have preferred that instead of the fumble. But you wouldn't have known that the fumble was going to happen if the penalty would have been called. And what would we be complaining about? We would be complaining about the thing that I just said, is that we're trying to call the best perfect play at the goal line. So just get to the damn line of scrimmage and run a play in short yardage.
Last thing, then super chats. Listen, I don't, to answer my own question here, I don't have a lot of faith in you offensively right now. I think you came out of a bye week and went guns blazing. It might be the best play called game that you have of the season, and you still only scored 20 points. So you better hold them to under 20.
I hope. And, man, it's –
Carter, I don't have any faith. If a team gets above 20 points, I feel like we're going to lose.
I just want everyone – because – you come off as just so sour when you say that. But
it's the truth.
It's just
you're halfway through the season. It's not sour anymore.
Yeah, it's also one of those things, Blake, where it's like, how haven't you scored 24 points versus a Power 4 team yet? Like, how haven't you actually accomplished this? Like, you haven't lucked into it or whatever. You have to be so calamitous. I'm trying to use a big word, calamitously bad for you to not have scored 24 points versus a Power 4 team. And that's what LSU has been. Okay. You almost did versus South Carolina. You should have scored at least 30.
You should have blown them out.
Yes. But because it was one ineptitude after another, there's 1,000 different things that LSU does bad offensively, and they all come back to haunt you. And you have this weird offensive thing happening with this unit right now.
Cole on YouTube with a $20 super chat says, how much longer does BK have? I mean, if he keeps winning 9-10 games, he has until his contract's over.
Yeah. Do you want to pay?
And then you'll just be in 9-3 purgatory.
Yeah. Do you want to pay a James Franklin buyout in the NIL era right now?
That's why I didn't even bring this up to you because it doesn't matter, and I don't even want to really talk about it. That's why this whole thing with Fehoko is so stupid.
Well, go on.
Okay. Well, let's look it up right here. You ready? Here are the buyouts for coaches. Okay. Just the top coaches in college football right now, just so that we're all aware. Kirby Smart's $105 million. Ryan Day is $71 million. Kalen DeBoer is $61 million. Steve Sarkisian $60 million. Dabo $60 million. Mike Norvell is $58 million. That's coming off of reduced on his. Dan Lanning is $56.7 million. Kurt Signetti is $57 million. Brian Kelly, $54 million buyout. So you mean to tell me that they're going to pay James Franklin $50 million, then pay LSU $54 million, for him to be their next head coach. Are you smoking grass?
No, I mean, no.
Stop.
That'd be wild. It would be wild. Well, the thing was, there was
No. Can we please be realistic? They're not doing that.
No, I agree, but
no one is paying you $50+ million to come get Brian Kelly. It's not happening.
Well, it could happen at Michigan.
No, it cannot.
Larry Ellison, if his girlfriend says
Larry Ellison ain't paying that level of money. Not after what he's been doing politically. No, he's not.
That's true. That's true.
And he just spent $100 billion on TikTok. No, he's not. No, he's not.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm not trying to be rude.
No. I was just. He could make it happen, but he's not.
He does have $1 trillion or something close to that. But you're right. He could, but he's not going to.
No, he won't. He wouldn't do that.
No. You know what makes the world go round? Money, and you know what? And not $54 million worth. Nuh-uh. It's one thing to give a kid $2 million. It's another thing to pay $50+ million.
I don't have it like that, so I
we don't have 50 cents to roll together. That's what Carter says.
Yeah.
Shaquan says the interceptions are just bad, man. I think we all agree we'd rather him just take a sack and move on to the next play and then force into double or triple coverages like he has been. Carter, I don't know why I'm taking so much heat over this again. Meaning, I know
you are. I don't think you are.
No, go look at the comments on YouTube. I'm a piece of you know what. The interceptions are god awful, brother. Like, let me ask you this question: at what point do we say that he's just not going to progress?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are we there?
I'm not there because the arm did look so much better.
No. I don't want to hear about the physical traits. I'm talking about the mental traits.
Yeah, and look, I am interested because I was live when Garrett did his press briefing earlier. I am interested to listen to everything he had to say because this was the first time we've heard from him since the Ole Miss game. So yeah, the red zone INT was versus South Carolina was the worst, and then the week before that, I thought the Ole Miss one was worse, and then the week before that, I thought the Florida one was worse. But I don't dislike Garrett. You don't dislike Garrett.
No, I don't. I just want you to stop throwing picks.
Yeah, and especially the South Carolina one. I did not think I was live when it happened, and I just ran off camera and started just screaming into a void. So it's got to stop. It really does.
You're not going to win games like this. Skylar says Nuss gets off to a bad, slow start. Does Kelly have the nuts to go to Michael Van Buren? Let's stop right there and then get to the last one next. How bad would it have to get to switch quarterbacks? I would assume pretty bad.
Yeah, it would need to be really bad because now.
Well, let me just ask a question. If you keep throwing interceptions, are we close to being there? Like, I hate to have the discussion, but how?
Yeah, I think if he throws 2 first half picks, you bring up the conversation at halftime, depending on how close the game is, and then you just go from there. Because look, if LSU comes out sleepwalking, Vanderbilt is good enough to walk you off this field. I'm serious. Like, and I understand you can get into who have they played? Blake, it is so.
Who have we played?
Yeah, and then I just want to put up, it's so hard to score 31 in every game, no matter who you've played. It's hard to score 70 versus another living, breathing team.
Which they've done.
Yes, a Jaden offense versus Army put up 63. And
they desperately took the pedal off the metal.
Yes. Okay. And that's and I understand once again you get into like what is it with the blowout and all that shit, but It's so hard to put up points the way that Vanderbilt's put up. So they are a good offense, and if you can't get anything going offensively, and knowing that the LSU defense has played as many snaps as they have played, you've got to maintain some drives. You just do, or else this could get to a point where they walk you off the field. And then, Blake, you have to ask the question, which team is more likely to just get just wiped in this game? Well, it's LSU, right? Because Vanderbilt has shown that they can do that very thing. LSU has shown that, but it was against Southeastern. Vanderbilt's done it against a few teams now. So you got to be careful about that, because you don't want this defense to be in that spot again. Because let's say you do win a defensive game again, and then the defense plays 80 plays again like they did versus Ole Miss, and your offense plays a scraggly 55 to 60, 65. Then you're in a tough spot versus A&M the next week. So I understand we should just worry about winning this game and then figure it out later or whatever. But you do want to see a little bit more, or a lot more, from this offense in this game.
Ricky with a $2 super chat says Nuss's ceiling is at its limit. I didn't intend this at all to be a Garrett Nussmeier segment here, but people are sending in super chats. Do you think it's hit its ceiling? I don't think he's hit his ceiling.
No. I think that's very unfair to him with some of the games you saw from him last year. And I know you and I have debated about how good he was last year, but that's why it's such a big deal, because you have seen some of these big games. Now, once again, Ricky, if you could interpret this one way, you could say, hey, his ceiling with what he has around him and his current environment, yeah, sure, but he can play better.
Even then, because like you said, he's missing Barryon. I mean, like, I don't agree with that, because I don't think he's hit his ceiling there either. Carter, I think there comes a point in time where, like,
okay, so if you think he's at his ceiling, then you should 1,000% want him to be benched right now. Are you there?
No.
Okay. So he's not at his ceiling.
I'm not far off. I mean,
Okay.
Again, I'm to a place where, for me, again, I put so much stock in winning the turnover battle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, people think I'm crazy. I know people think I'm crazy. Carter, just newsflash to everybody in here, just throwing this out there. Did you know that 10 of the top 12 teams in the playoff last year were top 10 and 12 in the turnover margin?
No,
I mean, I dumbfound myself. Like, you can't do that. And I think that, like, people are so quick. Bench Chris Hilton, he dropped a pass. Like, I'm not there. Like, you still got to throw it. You can't be scared to go back out there and throw it again.
Yeah. Well, I do think Garrett can play a lot better than what he's playing. I do.
All right, last one. We're getting you out of here. Cole with a $5 super chat says, might as well do the buyout. If you're not confident enough he's going to get you to multiple championships, he's getting paid too much for that, right?
Okay, so there is a difference between looking at a team that is a national championship, right? The best job in college football is Ohio State. In my opinion, it's Ohio State, okay? They needed a lot of things for them to win even last year, right? So judging everything just with natties or bust is tough. But I think it is fine if you were to reword that and say, should Brian Kelly have been to a playoff up to this point? And the answer to that is yes. By the end of this year, him not being to a college football playoff would be a colossal failure. It's just that simple. A colossal failure. So, to each your own as far as that is concerned. But yeah, you playoffs, obviously we all want to win championships. There's only one of those. LSU is one of the 12 best programs in college football. You should be able to make a playoff in the first 2 years of the 12-team playoff.
I agree.
Yeah.
Craig says if Nuss throws 4 INTs with 1 interception, maybe a fumble to boot, I'd say we're going to ball against these Vandy DBs. Yeah, but if you throw for 4 touchdowns, that means you score more than 20 points for the first time. And with this defense, I think you win.
Yeah, 24 for the first time versus a P4. Put Craig's photo up right there. Look at that. They're in love. Look at that. Craig, I like that, man. Let's see where it looks like they're on a pier somewhere. There's like a yellow cabana back there. Look at Craig.
Cabana.
Yeah. Craig, look at Look at it. It looks like they got a few margs and they're having a good time. I like that, Craig.
Yeah,
thanks for supporting.
Craig, you keep going to the cabanas in Mexico, you're going to be snorting some white powder like my shirt over here.
No, dude, I'm never partying with you. I know that much.
I don't party like that. I don't party like that.
Yeah, I mean,
what do I look like, Theo Vaughn?
I mean, Theo will probably be at the game this week. Look at that. Look at Craig.
Theo said that he told our sitting vice president that it's a shame that you can't even snort cocaine in America anymore.
Free country.
Dude, he's wild. That dude's wild. All right. Carter the Power Bryant. See you next week, buddy.
See you, bud. Cheers.
All right. It's Carter the Power Bryant. Always a pleasure to have him in here with us. Every show is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. We'll see you all tomorrow. Y'all have a blessed night. Peace out, Girl Scouts.